Holy moly, folks, BouseFeenux here, and man, I'm usually against this kind of thing, but this was too cool to not share with you guys. So recently, a few images of the newest upcoming characters to For Honor have been leaked and are making the rounds on Reddit and several other places. We don't know much about them, and all we really have are two screenshots of the characters themselves, but just that has been enough to spark a ton of speculation and theory crafting. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at these guys. First up, we've got the Roman Centurion. As you can see, he's a fairly large dude with heavy armor, and of course he's got a full face mask because Ubisoft apparently has something against modeling character faces. You can't really see his weapon in the character select screen, but from his profile image, we see if we look closely that the weapon he's holding appears to have some sort of wooden shaft. So based on what we know of ancient Roman cavalry, this weapon might either be a pilum, which is a heavy javelin, or a hasta, which is a lighter thrusting spear. Now, in addition to this, the Centurion could also be armed with a gladius, which is a short sword similar to the Viking Ulfberht sword that the warlords use. These little guys were extremely deadly and were stout enough to chop as well as thrust. Now, according to my very limited knowledge of Roman military history and what I read on Wikipedia, typically, Roman cavalry would carry both of these weapons into battle, and against shielded opponents, they'd thrust the pilum or hasta into the enemy shield, thus weighing it down and making it awkward to use. They'd then finish the foe with the gladius. If the Centurion is using both of these weapons, it could be a very interesting playstyle. Like when we saw a character similar to this in Soul Calibur 5, I think it was. He was a custom character you can make that fought with a pilum and a long dagger. The dagger was used for up-close stabbing attacks and parrying, and the spear kept foes at bay. We'll have to see what they come up with, though, because we've already got 3 polearm-using fighters in the game. They'll have to find some way to make his playstyle very distinct. Moving on, though, let's take a look at the second upcoming character. This guy is the Ninja, and thank God they didn't go with something cliche for his weapon like a short wakizashi or ninjato. Instead, it looks like he'll be using a Kusarigama, which, if you played Ninja Gaiden or Nioh, you know this to be a weapon that's an extremely badass cross between a flail and a scythe, with both parts being connected by a long chain. Although, from the picture we have here, it looks like this version has 2 scythes instead of the flail or counterweight that you'd usually see. Regardless, this is a notoriously difficult weapon to use, and I think it'll give this class a ton of interesting options. Now, as far as class alignment, from the screenshot, it looks like these two characters belong to their own 4th row of characters. People are speculating that this will be the mercenary faction, and we can even see in the pictures that there's room for 2 more warriors. The other theory is that the Centurion will belong to the Knights faction, which actually makes sense because in the story, there are little blurbs here and there about a group of Centurions helping the Knights at certain points in time. Obviously, too, the Ninja class would belong to the Samurai faction. I mean, it's a natural fit. I kind of hope, though, that these guys get their own grouping. A mercenary faction opens the game devs up to 2 more characters that could literally be just about any warrior from history, and I think the potential of that is super exciting. Now, one last thing, even though these screenshots are super convincing, these characters still haven't been confirmed by Ubisoft, although it is highly likely that these will be the ones that we get. Time will tell, though, and of course, as they say, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. Regardless of that, though, I am super stoked to see how these characters play out. But that's it for today, though, guys. Leave your own speculations in the comments below if you have any, because I'm interested in hearing what you all think about these classes. Also, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below because it helps me out a ton. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, consider doing so now so that you never miss a video. On that note, I wanted to thank you guys so very freaking much. Over the past 2 weeks, you guys have absolutely shattered any records I've had for channel views. I can't believe how much we're growing right now, so thanks again for watching the videos. It means a lot to me that you guys are finding them useful and enjoying them. Until next time, though, I'm BouseFeenux. I'll see you at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.